fool. We commanding the block. Burgundy and gold got the city on lock. Hustling plays, they don't need to pretend. DC reppin' strong and we fight to the end. Commanders moving, no breaks, no pause. Hands in the dirt, respecting the call. K-Dot and the myth, dissect the grind. District divider with a city in mind. Trying to dance why, don't miss a bit. And you gotta spread the word, so shit is shit. K-Dot.
No usual intro. The Washington Commanders lose to the Detroit Lions at home 44-22, getting doubled up by the Detroit Lions, who were absolutely dominant throughout this game. So, K-Dot, I will just immediately throw it over to you, your reaction, and everyone over here so far. Thank you for joining us. We will go through your comments as this pod progresses. Go ahead, K-Dot.
Lions look great. They were on schedule the entire time. Our offense showed in certain moments, even as banged up as it is, that we could move the ball with Marcus Mariota if the game plan is correct and if people want to catch football, if people want to block correctly. But beyond that, Joe Whitt might get his ass fired today. And that's going to be the takeaway, is the defense was absolute dog shit. Which to be expected, but it's not that the defense was complete and absolute dog shit, was the way that they were complete and absolute dog shit. You got Deron Payne getting ejected from the game. You got Kinlaw shit. Even before the TV said anything about Kinlaw, I was noticing Kinlaw was yelling at people shit like an entire series before that. The amount of infighting that I could see just on the defense itself throughout this game, even before any of the commentators said anything, was just blatant. Frankie Louvu looking at Bobby Wagner and Mike Sanderson like he wanted to murder him. There's just this deep. If we were supposed to see changes with Joe Whitt coming down to the sideline, it only got worse. Now I get it; it's the Detroit Lions, and it's a Detroit Lions team that's pissed. It's a Detroit Lions team that wants revenge. We're a team that's banged up and injured and left this game even more injured than we were coming into it. But you can't lose like that. You can't look that inept. You can't look that dumb. I've been on the giving Joe Whitt or shooting Joe Whitt bail. But when you see a performance like that in that manner, usually some heads got to roll.
Yeah. And so that's going to be the story of this game, right, kid? Because I went to that whiteboard that you can see over there and just to write down some thoughts after the first half. And all I did was go, well, what did Detroit do in the first half? 289 yards of offense, 7.2 yards per play. Just to put that in context, the worst in the NFL is 6.4 allowed. That's the Cincinnati Bengals. So 7.2 is almost a full yard higher. 3 touchdowns, 1 field goal on 4 drives. Payne ejected. Kinlaw talking shit after a penalty that he caused. And the defense quit. That's the thing. The defense quit. It looks like bringing Joe Whitt down to the sidelines away from the booth was like, why don't you come check out the energy of this whole thing? Nothing's going to change. Why don't you just see it up close for yourself? Because that was as bad a performance as I've seen from a Washington Redskins football team Commanders defense since Lord knows when. It was a disgrace. It was a joke. There was a moment on 2nd and 6 where Bobby Wagner had Jahmyr Gibbs in his sight, backpedaled, then tackles him after Jahmyr Gibbs already has the first down.
Yep.
No defense of the first down line. Mm-hmm. Then there was a play to Amon-Ra St. Brown where he had 8 yards of space. I don't get why on 3rd and 5 we are 8 yards back. I don't get why on 3rd and 7 we're 10 yards back. But something clearly isn't right schematically. Something is not right with the personnel. You can point to injuries, but it should never, ever, and I don't care who you're playing, look that bad. The Lions finished with 517 yards on offense. And if you thought it got any better in the second half, here's how the first drive went. 5 plays, each of them 10 plus yards, 4 first downs. Why not 5? Because the 5th play was a touchdown. That's it. It was completely inexcusable. I don't care if you're playing the greatest show on turf. That was inexcusable today, K-Dot.
Yeah, man. The drive coming out for the second half for Detroit. The shortest gain they had on that entire drive was 11 yards. There was at one point it was like 7 drives, 7 scores, some around 30 first downs. Yeah, I mean, this is, and I don't know if this stat's correct. Lord knows it feels like it shouldn't sound correct, but I saw somebody said something about this might be history was eventually be made, and we just made it, which is like no team is lost by 21 points 4 in a row.
Yeah, I was actually going to look that up because I know we've done it 3 times. I was wondering about the 4th time. So we set that record?
I mean, yeah, I think so. I mean, 22 points. That it hits it. Man, look, I don't know. There was at one point I even wrote in my notes that I thought that the defense quit, and then they came right back, and I didn't. Like, I thought that maybe I was being too mean as far as saying that they quit.
You weren't.
I don't know. I'm still on the fence about that. I think the all 22 is going to eliminate some of that, but it's not like I didn't see them not trying. I just see them being stupid. And the thing is, that, like, I see a frustration, and a frustration usually doesn't mean you quit as much as it means your head's just not where it needs to be to get anything done. And it's kind of like what I've been saying as far as like, there's one thing about the young guys making mistakes or doing stupid shit. But when you get the veterans that start doing stupid shit, and you start looking at who those veterans are, then you start realizing there might be more of a loser mentality than there is a winner's mentality, or I'm hungry for this mentality, or even knowing what that hunger, what it's supposed to look like. And then you look at the best guys on the field as far as the dudes you rely on the most, the two oldest motherfuckers on the team, and Bobby Wagner and Zach Ertz. Like, Zach Ertz through this game, like that catch near the end was incredible. And the entire time I'm like, why the fuck are you in the game? Like, why are you here? Like, everything that we even got excited about as far as like the youth push that might have been happening as far as in this game, no changes. Wagner and McGee in nickel defense, Luvu around the line of scrimmage, not around the line of scrimmage, kind of doing his thing. It just felt as though at corner, you get Jones that comes in because the Marshawn Lattimore injury. There was at one point Sanders still went on the outside, and you know what happened? Got burnt immediately. It's just the same. Everything I've said the entire season through the all 22 felt like it was on full display in this particular game. And like the Detroit Lions, Dan Campbell said, hey, we're going to exploit every last one of these things. We're going to make you guys look like baby back bitches. And this is what it's going to be. Y'all can whine. Y'all can piss. You can moan. You can try to punch our guys. You can act all ornery and this, that, and the other. But we're the ones that end up looking stupid. And I knew that from a revenge standpoint, like, look, we're more banged up than even Detroit was last year when we killed them. Dog, it's this is like, you talk about a season from hell. Like, this is the season. Injuries can create that season from hell. You've seen San Francisco go through it once. Cincinnati's gone through it. This is it. This is it. This defense is, I mean, right now, they've got to start navigating this thing, because with what just happened, everyone this is a black mark on everybody. And Dan Quinn being a defensive coach, I think at a minimum, he's taking play calling duties over next week. I feel like that's got to, like, that we've got to talk, either him or you've got other guys on the defense with experience. Like Ken Norton has experience calling the defense. Jason Simmons was somebody that people are excited about. He has some experience with some stuff. Like, there are some moves you got to kind of make. But right now, as much as I do not, or have not wanted to blame Joe Whitt for what I see as the players making a lot of just boneheaded mistakes, I saw that again today. But then I also saw, if you're on the sidelines for the first time, and this is the first time I'm seeing this sort of communication, this sort of breakdown on the defense as far as the way they're dealing with each other, then I'm sorry, but the coincidence is fucking shitty. Like, that's not okay. But
yeah, so when communication errors happen, and I've said this a few times, in one game, okay.
Yeah.
You know, that can just be a one game thing. When it happens in 2, all right, but maybe it's just a 2-game skid, whatever. This has been happening for now more than a month. This has been happening for a month and a half, even the whole season, essentially, right? And yes, there are injuries, but ultimately this does fall on Joe Whitt. Absolutely falls on Joe Whitt. And here's Jim Sleazy also. I'm reading this live. Been a Joe Whitt apologist too. Defense is C, yeah, ball. You can't coach effort, but there's something going on at the edges that's either personal or scheme that he has not fixed. I think that's really well said.
Yeah.
And, it does beg the question over here. I will say this, that we do go to Madrid and then we have a bye week. So if anything were to happen, I think, including Dan Quinn taking over play calls, I don't think you're doing it when you're about to travel internationally. I think you just go ahead, you play that game, give Joe Whitt a shot, and then bye week, who knows? Maybe you take over play calling, Joe Whitt still on staff, and then at the end of the season, the way things have gone.
I don't think they can do it.
But that's my thing. So Josh Harris, very, very patient owner, right? Yeah. Dan Quinn, very loyal to his guys, right? But that performance makes it really, really hard to justify keeping him.
And everybody looked at that Miami game like it was going to be a cakewalk. And you saw what they did today. So like the idea would be, it's once again, we could have get this score. This score should have been worse. We were in this game. Shout out, like I'm saying, shout out to the offense, like for real, like legitimately. Shout out to the offense. They. Oh wow! I just realized I had Commanders 44, Lions 22. Holy shit! Does that look stupid?
Well, I greenlit it too. I was like, sure, that's fine.
Yeah, right. Oh, Jesus,
we're in denial. Don't worry about it. Go ahead.
You know what?
You flipping that?
No, we're just gonna. I don't want to look at that.
Commander 66. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. I don't want to look.
Give us 22 more points.
It's like this score could have even been worse. And I would have been like, yeah, we're hurt. This is what it is. Like the defense is still making the same fuck ups they made, this, that, and the other. It's the two things that are bothering me. The one is the lack of the youth movement in this particular game, especially as the game started getting out of reach. Ben Sinnott cashed the plus 1,800. So silver lining, but him and Luke all fucking season long. I finally made my money back. The idea is it's the way that they did it. I don't know. Lord knows what the hell did Amon-Ra St. Brown do to Deron Payne to elicit that. But I also saw Quan Martin was trying to go after Dan Skipper, I think, at one point. He had everybody was just doing something colossally stupid, and it wasn't the young guy. It was like vets. They were vets. They were dudes that are supposed to know better. Like that's my thing.
Go ahead.
What like the professional aspect of things, like I do know that there is an element of like the players coaching that Dan Quinn sort of subscribes to, where like you have personal responsibility, you have personal accountability for certain things, right? But if everybody's fucking it up, like we gotta do something different, and that up into including like get rid of people, like if they're not helping what's what. And what I find hilarious is that Deron Payne also gave the pregame speech, which now if you give a pregame speech, I am looking for you to fuck
Lattimore and then Payne.
God damn.
It's got to be said though, Kate, and this is the way I viewed Payne taking a swing on Amon-Ra, and he caught him. I mean, he got his money's worth for sure. And I'm sure a suspension, fine, whatever it may be is coming. But when he swung on him, that to me was, you know better. Yeah. You lost your head. But you've been doing this for so long that to me was quitting. It was, you know what? We're getting killed. I don't even want to be out here. And just goes, lost his head, hit him. No big deal. I'll just walk to the locker room. The rest of the guys can take care of it. From your leader, right? Like that's the problem. If it was a younger guy swinging, I don't view that as quitting. Deron Payne doing it, I view as quitting because that's different.
Can I shoot him a little bit of bail?
Yeah, go ahead.
Look, man, I know. Deron, if you're watching, I don't know why you did what you did. If I were to say that you were doing anything, maybe, just maybe, because I know I got into a little murder story. You know how much I love Ben Sinnott.
Yes.
When I saw him do his little Trump dance, I got pissed too. I might want to punch him. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he did his little Trump dance. I understand wanting to punch a motherfucker. I get it, but you can't let your politics to get into what's going on in the football game. You got to be a professional. You got to be a professional. As much as I wanted to crash through my fucking television as Fox decided they were just going to do campaign promos instead of showing us the fucking game. Like, why was that? Yeah, that shit made me pissed off. So, like, at the end of the day, like, maybe Deron just big Harris fan, and just was upset. Saw Air Force One over FedEx Field. I know I would have been irate. I get it. I get that. But, man, you're a professional. Like, no excuses. Like, I might be able to show you a little bell, but like, no excuses, man. You got to be better than that.
That's what I'm saying. So because he knows better, because he's 29 years old, because he's in a contract year, he's willing to make that choice. That to me was just like, oh, okay. Yep.
I still
All
think
right.
the shit that we saw over the last week in the media, the stuff that I pointed to, I did not like Bobby Wagner's comments as far as when it came to Joe Whitt coming down the sideline, and I did not like the shit that I saw Mikey
You did
Sanders
say
show,
that.
which I did do some of the shit after the pod. I'm not gonna go into all of it because it gets a little messy,
That's
but
fine.
there is some smoke here, and there are some guys that are not agreeing with some things that are happening, and I think that there's a fight happening and a friction that's happening on the defense right now. And I do believe that they're in a situation where, this is just me inferring. I don't know anything, but the idea would be, I think you have vets that think that they know what they're doing, and maybe they think they know what they're doing more than the guy who's calling the defense. And you got a guy who's calling the defense that doesn't have it within him to confront the guys that are not doing what it is they're supposed to do.
Yeah, actually, that makes a lot of sense to me, kid. That is probably the most logical thing is if Joe Whitt is calling something and Bobby or maybe Payne at this point, like who knows, goes, I don't know about that one. And you sort of lose faith in, yes.
Louvu looked pissed.
Yes. Louvu looked pissed. Like they also just look confused the whole time. Right? Like
That's
it just,
season,
I know, but you would think, right? You know, he ends up moving down. You're like, all right, cool, maybe something, but it just looked very confused. You remember was it fourth down? Did they actually get to fourth down? I don't even remember. Or was it third down where Khalif Raymond just turned around? He literally did the signal to Khalif Raymond. He turned around about 15 yards of space.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what it felt like the whole game. Anytime a Detroit Lions player caught a ball, there was not a commander on the screen.
I'm telling you guys this has been at what you just saw defensively. The only different, would you stop going this cocksucker? The only piece of shit. That's why he got legit blocked today. I just didn't want to deal. Motherfucker, just lost my goddamn train of thought. This has been all season. This is everything you saw has been all season. The only difference is the attitude was weird today. It was just weird. This is not. Look, I haven't seen this. I've seen them be confused. I have not seen them get irate at each other about where they're supposed to be. I haven't seen that. And trust me, I watched the All-22. I'm seeing a lot of shit between plays and stuff too sometimes. I have not seen that. That's the difference today. But everything you saw as far as the breakdowns and everything, that has been in spades. The difference is this particular Detroit team with a Gibbs, with an Amon-Ra St. Brown, with a Jameson Williams, who, as they talked about, as Velma pointed out in the commentary, has become more than a one-trick pony. They studied and they whooped our ass in every facet of what it is we could possibly do defensively. They had answers for everything. Like, shit, I thought y'all were going to take a downturn without Ben Johnson. It felt as though they might have been watching our tape the last 8 weeks and just knew as they were preparing for the other games, oh my God, I can't wait for this fucking game.
Yeah. Well, we talked about the revenge element of it, and the Detroit Lions do remember things, right? They do take things personally, and they end up beating teams that beat them the prior season. And they go, no. We remember that one. And this one, they did exactly what they wanted to do. Again, they absolutely humiliated our defense. They might get the defensive coordinator fired. Like they did everything that they wanted to do. And really, you see Dan Campbell with a play sheet. Looks like he's calling some plays also. Almost, I think, in reaction to last week where he goes, look, I'm only going to call it for a week. I'm going to show you how simple it is. We're going to run the ball with Jahmyr Gibbs. We're going to run the ball with David Montgomery. We got Jameson Williams on a crosser, and we occasionally hit Amon-Ra St. Brown on a curl or an out. That's it. You do that, you get that type of offense. It's not always going to look as good as it's going to because you're not playing the Commanders every single week. But that's the thing. It didn't seem like they were doing exotic shit. They were just dominant at doing the simple things. And that's how bad it looked for us. And that's the thing that's super disheartening from this, even though if you listen to our preview episode, Kata and I saw this coming a mile away. I'm sure many of you guys saw this coming a mile away as well. Go ahead. Maybe not this bad, but yeah.
Look, man, the only thing so Joe Whitt gets shit as in you said, you have these same mistakes happening week in and week out. Why hasn't it been fixed? If you got somebody in charge, it's got to kind of fall on them. So Joe Whitt, blame pie. Dan Quinn, blame pie. You got to. There's no getting around it. But I also want to make sure that as we're doing this blame pie thing, where it is that I think that it's very easy to say as far as the Joe Whitt is the blame about all this. And while I'm saying that he deserves some of the pie, I want to make sure that I'm here saying, first and foremost, above all other things, I am blaming the vets on defense for being fucking colossally dumb in the way that they're playing football right now. I don't understand, just from a pride standpoint, that you guys aren't getting together. If the coaches aren't doing what it is you think they should be doing, I'm seeing shit that's happening that is communication breakdowns. You guys amongst yourselves should kind of figure out what you're doing from a communication standpoint. And I've never heard or been around to hear that a Bobby Wagner or a Von Miller were waiting for a defensive coordinator to get shit right on a defense.
Right.
That shit bothers me. So like the idea, I'm not scapegoating anybody. Everybody gets a piece of this shit right now, okay? Everybody gets a piece of this shit right now. This has been week in and week out. I watched this stupid goddamn all 22 like 3 times a fucking week. Right? And I got to see the same shit over and over and over again, to the point other than just replacing the fucking team names, you can replay almost any fucking all 22 from a defensive standpoint all season long. You can use it for any fucking game, any of them. They have not done anything right sustainably over the course of a fucking game. Even the games that we won, I'm like, dog, did you see how they fucked that up? Like, is anybody else see how they fucked that up? Like, I get the injuries. I get all this shit. I just, from a pride standpoint, I look at the oldest team in the fucking league and wonder, why aren't you guys doing something else?
Any final thoughts before we move to the comment mailbag? I'm not about to top that. You nailed it.
I am still schmedium on this team. I just don't like today. Today is what you guys were feeling after, I think, like the Chiefs game where you guys were feeling really bad. This, to me, was the embarrassing. What was the game that you guys were feeling?
For me, it was Chicago.
The Chicago game. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Everybody has like their worst moment. To me, this is the worst part of it. And the reason being, I don't know if there's any Godfather fans in here. It's one thing as far as never let anybody see what's happening within the family. Okay? I got a problem with that shit. All right? The fact is that you guys are fighting with each other and yelling at each other on national television and then losing your cool on national television. That to me only screams what the fuck is going on. And now I am now squarely in this territory, and it makes me feel like a piece of shit because that fucking orange cocksucker that was there at the game. Not to mention, this reminds me of Dan Snyder when I see all the fucking Lions fans in the goddamn stadium. This is a PTSD moment for my ass. I can't wait for this Hard Knocks just because it's entertaining.
Oh, my Lord.
Right? What the fuck is going on in that building right now? And why does it look so different than everything we were giving them credit for last year? I still think everybody, you started smelling yourselves just a little bit, all right? Everybody started feeling themselves just a little bit too much. Motherfuckers, y'all were year 2 in a rebuild, and you had a rookie bring you to the promised land. That's where you at.
And with that, we go to the comment mailbag featuring an intro from our very own Nikki.
Comment mailbag time, motherfuckers. District divided, ain't got time for no suckers. Spread the word, get in line. OGs and new G's, it's your time. And spread the gospel, cause this shit is divine. Yeah.
All right, thank you as always for that intro, Nikki. Beginning with Mr. Antoine, shout out. Mariota has a small sample size, just a reminder. We had mentioned that Mariota had done well at home, that we had put up 40-plus points at home with Mariota a couple times between this season and last season. And hey, who knows with Marcus Mariota? Maybe there's a little bit of a spark. End up with 22 points, but obviously not enough to win with the defense like we had. K-Dot, your reaction?
No, I still look at Marcus Mariota and I'm saying that he was delivering footballs, but then I saw Jaden Daniels deliver football. We saw boom bap today on offense at times. We also saw Cliff Kingsbury get into his bag as far as some stuff with the rushing attack, running in between the tackles. Shout out to us with the Chris Rodriguez is going to be more important than anybody else. And this should be the rushing attack.
Yes.
Chris Rodriguez should be the lead back.
Thank you.
And then you have Bill as the secondary.
Been waiting for this for ages.
I
Wanted
know.
this at the beginning of the season.
I know. This is the way we're supposed to run the fucking football. And this is the way Jaden Daniels is supposed to throw the fucking football, right? I will say there are some things that I'm looking at offensively, and I'm still saying I got some faith on the offense. The thing with the offense is they can't do shit if you don't have somebody on the defense turning the ball over, getting them opportunities at any given point in time. They just don't get them, right?
Yep.
So, like, can you put up Jim Sleeves' comment just one more time?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so, like, agree that it's a player issue to me the same way as far as the infighting. But you remember I even said last week that I need an asshole?
Yep.
I want an asshole. Not like that, guys. Like, y'all look like dickheads out there. And this to me, I have never seen a defense led by Bobby Wagner or Von Miller look like this. Like, that to me was embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
No, it was a total joke, man.
Oh, but yeah, offensively, Ben Sinnott, get him involved in the fucking game. Chris Rodriguez, lead back with that. You got shit. And if Jaden can get rid of the football and you get a Terry McLaurin that comes back, I see an offense that has pieces and are moving at least in the right direction. But they've also been able to do some things as far as from a development standpoint with the offensive line. They've been able to do some things as far as some of these pieces. The defense right now is what's like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it's damn near a college defense. Jamal Bibi-Charbonneau goes, it's Friday and I'm fully loaded with hope. Technically, it is still possible to make this season the miracle one. I will be pulling for the Blue Lions to win the whole thing if they win this week against us. So the Lions have gained a fan for the rest of the season. And Jamal Bibi-Charbonneau, get out your reaction.
Yeah, man, you can't help but root for the Lions, like especially as injury plagued as they were last year, and they've been kind of like this. Like we've liked the rebuild that Dan Campbell has done, and it's been sort of the way that I wanted us to do things here, right? Like that sort of energy of tenacity. So, like, yeah, respect the shit out of them. I still want to know what the hell was going on that caused all the infighting and whether or not Detroit was being dickheads or something about something. But at the end of the day, it's all in the game, and if you react badly because of what it is they're doing, this on you, not on them.
Right. Nope. Totally well said there. And then we go to, let's go with, as we show this from Jerry Golding's, Rennell Winchester, shout out. At DQ's presser, he said that he would evaluate JD5 after the bye weeks. We're beginning to, you had mentioned Jaden Daniels, K-Dot, beginning to chat about him a little bit. We'll evaluate him after the bye week. What goes into that evaluation could be the team record, could be how Jaden himself is feeling, could be Terry's availability, any number of things could go into it. Your reaction to that, K-Dot?
If Jaden's healthy, you play the motherfucker. Beyond that shit, I'm looking at draft stuff.
Yeah, I am in the same boat. I don't care what our record is because I need Jaden to find consistency. And like K-Dot said, being the schmedium guy that he is, this was a team is a team. Year 2 in a rebuild that got carried by a rookie last season. Now that rookie is in year 2, and this team is not pulling its weight. It needs to learn to win right now.
Can I say something else? Maybe a little mean.
Sure.
I need Jaden to realize that he needs to do things differently. Otherwise, his ass is going to be sitting on the fucking sidelines even more. So maybe you need to learn some shit. So I want to see you for the rest of the season. Protect your fucking self, huh? Maybe do that.
Oh, that would be great if you learn that long term in the next few weeks, assuming he's able to play.
I'd be nice.
I would be really excited. It's like, he learned that. That's great.
That's what we need. He's not going to get better not playing it right now. Not with where he is. He's already played. We know.
Yeah.
Like he's already gotten the game time. This is different if he's sat last year going into this year. The dude needs to be out there playing. He needs to be learning from his mistakes. And this year he's done he's done a piss poor job of learning from his mistakes this year.
Here's Coach Lombard. Assuming Jaden is healthy after the bye week, would you guys play him? We
Yes.
just answered that. Yes. Does that depend on the team's record, or is it a no matter what answer? A no matter what answer. Cool. So just wanted to jump that in there as well because we had just essentially answered that. Here is Steve Willie. More than one thing can be true at the same time, and Drake May is a beast. Don't shit on that man just because Jaden was selected. This goes back to the hypothetical that K-Dot had dropped. Would you rather have Jaden Daniels, or would you rather have Drake May and Christian Gonzalez? Steve, I apologize if you felt I was slighting Drake May. I think he is very, very good. Indiana, another nice game today. I think he's very, very good. I just think Jaden is significantly better. That's just my estimation.
I think that people think, because I posed the question outside of here and talked to some people about it. I think the idea is that there's a thought that you're being disrespectful to Drake because of the Christian Gonzalez piece. So like
to not even just do it straight.
No, yeah. Like if we just did the Drake May versus Jaden Daniels, I can understand either way that somebody might come out on that, especially right now, right?
Yes, especially right now.
But the Christian Gonzalez component added to it is like, hang on, like even if you like Jaden, there's not a gap that makes up a Christian Gonzalez.
Right. Cheers, Vindo. Shout out OG. Bro, these Detroit screens to tight ends and running backs are killers, man. And once again, I nailed the player of the game. It was Jahmyr Gibbs. My God, 15 carries, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 receptions for 30 yards and a touchdown. In terms of scrimmage touchdowns under the age of 24, they flashed out on the screen at the very end. It's 4 Hall of Famers and Jahmyr Gibbs. It was like Emmitt Smith, Randy Moss, Jim Brown, one other, and him. Like, I mean, yeah. K-Dot, your reaction.
Yeah, the boy's crazy. And also, Travion Henderson finally came alive.
Like, finally.
Right? Yeah, man, like, Gibbs is a problem. But, like, and you called it as far as stuff coming out of the backfield. The problem, here's my thing. Looking at what happened with this game, they could have done whatever they wanted to.
Yes. And they did, by the way.
Right.
They did. They were like, let's get Jameson Williams a drive here. And you did. That was the very first drive of the second
I just
half.
needed one more Sam Laporta touchdown to cash $1,000.
Oh, well, and here's the thing.
But no, Gibbs got me all fucking selfish.
Dude, his third touchdown, the moment they pitched it, and I saw it was 2v2 with the blockers, I was like, oh, he's gone.
Was it Jameson or Amon? It was like, peace.
Yeah. It was just like,
it's over.
It's a wrap. Yeah. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, no one's touching him. No one's touching him. Here's Coach looking towards the draft here. Kenyon Sadiq is the best dual threat tight end. If it's just a seam stretcher, it's Oscar Delp. I believe in Bates and Sinnott, especially as blockers, but Cliff doesn't seem to use them. And why is Jumbo O-lineman Trent Scott inactive so much? Washington has good running backs and good tight ends, and Cliff isn't using them. I blame Cliff more than Adam Peters there. And once again, Trent Scott was inactive. K-Dot, your reaction?
I think it's a pick your poison sort of thing. I mean, the thing is that I've seen them play with some more jumbo sets against defense to sell out against the run. And because the way the wide receivers are playing, because the way Jaden is, and they can't do anything with that. I get it. Like, you need to have some talent out there that's been able to generate something from a pass standpoint. And as you even saw in this game, without a guy like Trent Scott, they were still able to generate some rushing as far as like the way that they position or the way that they're moving. So like, there's some room, but it's like, because of how depleted this fucking team is from an injury standpoint, the choices you're making as far as like what philosophy you're going to roll into in any particular game is tough.
Yep. But
I got to give Cliff credit. I thought Cliff actually put together a decent game.
I thought he did too. Marcus Mariota, 16 of 22. Okay. 213 yards, 2 touchdowns. So like, it's 133 passer rating.
I'm telling you,
solid,
he's good.
He was solid. Also added 5 carries for 22 yards. He did all right, man. He did all right. And then
the difference between Jaden being an MVP candidate and Jaden being what he is right now is 7 of those Mariota plays a game. 7.
Yep, which he did with ease. Also, Jerry Golding's over here going, I think we found something in Burks as a third. Cut Noah Brown. That was one bright spot of this game. Traylon Burks. Traylon Burks, I actually was like, oh, okay. Like 3 catches, 58 yards on 3 targets. I like Traylon Burks, especially with the receivers that we currently have. Like, it's nice. This is a perfect situation for him.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, as far as when you look at like the George Allen over the hill gang and stuff, right? It's the guys that had some juice left, or the guys that were in terrible opportunities and terrible situations that want an opportunity to fucking win. Now with George Allen, they didn't win, but you want that opportunity to do so. Traylon Burks, if you look at his history and his career, it's been supremely unfair, man. It's just sucked. He's had some terrible luck. And now that he's healthy, like, he's got an opportunity here, and that's what I want. I want the fire guy. I want the guys that are hungry to show something. It's what it is you had with Naluvu. It's what you had with Dorrance Armstrong. It's what you have with like a guy like Traylon Burks. It's the dudes that really want to continue and want to do something. They've been wasting away somewhere, but they got the talent to get something. Not what a lot of the other guys are on the team, which is just cast-offs and 9-year vet journeymen that aren't that good.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we go to B Wheeler. Shout out. Our interior O-line has allowed a lot of pressure up the middle. Our quarterbacks typically cannot step up in the pocket, but have to roll out while our wide receivers don't get quick enough separation. So B Wheeler looking into the future a little bit, going, hey, this is going to be a bit tough on offense. Oh, to echo what K-Dot said, I think the offense did a decent job, like did enough, enough, clearly not, right? But we're solid. 22 points, solid, especially with the backup quarterback. Like, that's solid. K-Dot, your reaction?
No, same here, man. I do think the offense, because the thing on both sides of the ball, I look at all the injuries that they have. I take all that into consideration when it comes down to it. And I also know that we're not the only team that gets hurt. So you ever see The Departed?
Yeah. Yes. How cool is that?
It is cool. One of my favorite moments in The Departed, and something I use in like actual life, is when and Jack Nicholson walks into the bar and he asks, dude, how's your mother doing? And he says, she's on her way out. We all are. Act accordingly. That's my shit. Okay. Yeah. People are hurt. Be a professional, motherfucker. Like, that's the problem with the defense. Offensively, I'm like, y'all did what you could with what you had. Like, I get it. Godspeed. Are there notes that I could have to improve? Of course. There are notes all the time. There's stuff that you can improve. But you did all you could. If the defense turned the ball over once, if they, prevented them from scoring at any point in time during the game, maybe you guys have something to play with, to work with. But you couldn't, because you had nothing complimenting anything that you were doing.
Yeah. And here's your old Bruce. The Lions up 32-10. This is going to hurt for the rest of the season. Better draft position. Who cares? Now's the time to build the foundation. I hate losing. K-Dot, your reaction?
I hate losing when it feels unnecessary and when it feels like you're not building towards something. Like, to me, it's like what losing can consist of, as far as just like the wins and losses on the thing. Like, I'm okay with it if it means I'm working towards something or I'm building towards something. It's like it's initial sacrifice and investment of pain for what it is the ultimate payoff's going to be. And in sports, there's no guarantee, but you kind of like being able to have a philosophy or a game plan. And I still think overall, we had a very strong philosophy and game plan. I just think the drafting of the quarterback as soon as we did and the immediate success we had with drafting the quarterback as we did create a situation in which timelines got sped up, and you can't speed those timelines up.
Yeah, we tried.
We tried. And also,
and I don't mind the effort either, to be totally honest, but we have learned that you cannot do that. I mean, so that's what that is.
And even more shout out to New England. Like I said, I do think the biggest piece is the Christian Gonzalez piece. But the when you look at how much salary cap space they still have, because Robert Kraft is a cheap fucker. Mike Vrabel, kudos.
Vrabel, McDaniels. That team they went to Tampa Bay. I know they've played some soft games so far, but they've gone to Buffalo. They've gone to Tampa Bay. They've won both those games. You'll hear that on the side piece report, of course, when we do the All-22 review. But this was the show. This was District Divided, DC Sports Podcast, more specifically a Washington Commanders podcast. Thank you guys for listening to this live reaction, live stream of the unfortunate beatdown that I think we all sort of knew was going to take place. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. And if you enjoyed the episode, not the game, the episode, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, comment as you always do, and K-Dot.
Jerry, I agree. Fuck that cocksucker. And if they name that stadium, I'm out. I'm fucking out. And share this shit, you cocksucking.
In DC, we're just hoping that you listen.